Hi guys, welcome to MS Live, Multiple Sclerosis Live. I'm your host, Dulci Hill, and I do this early there, and I want to make sure that I'm here early for you there. Again, to the right of your screen, or let me see, yeah, the right over here, my right, is where everybody's going to be chatting and about different topics there. So I'm going to kind of keep this feed going by reading and answering it because I just found out. Actually, I was reviewing some of the videos and I found out that when people watch these videos, they don't see the chat there. So I'm going to really make a concerted effort to read the name and everybody who's contributing to this, because I again, this isn't about me, this is about you. You guys are the stars, and we all can help each other. You all help me. You've done a lot to help me there. So I said, so today I'm a little early. There's two people here, there, and I know in 5 minutes, I'm supposed to be starting this in 5 minutes. So anyway, we're just going to hang out until 11 o'clock when we officially start. Let me readjust my chair. All right, that's a little better. A little higher there. So here I'm going to say hi. Just a very good late morning. Welcome. Again, you know, the longer I've had this disease, the more I realize it just, the more I realize how unimportant I am in having this. And the more I realize that you guys, when you describe how you deal with certain symptoms, it blows my mind, because even though I know it, sometimes you got to read it or hear it or see it from a number of different sources before you take advice there. Okay, we're building up there. Welcome everybody. Yeah, that's good. Now there's more people. Feel free on the right of your screen there to say good morning and introduce yourself there. You know, I'm welcome to MS Live. Again, I'm your host, Dulci Hill, and I will be describing or reading what you're saying, and we'll be interacting that way, talking about different symptoms there. Right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about fatigue, and it's raining in Maryland. I'm in Maryland, Bel Air, Maryland. My grandpa back there, but beside the point there, I'm in Bel Air, Maryland, and it is raining this morning. And this past week we talked on MS Frontiers medical support, not in personal share. If you go to msfrontiers.org, you can see the resources there, and you can join this support group. Hi, Diana, welcome. She said, Diana, say good morning there. So I'm thrilled you're here there, and I'm thrilled you joined MS Frontiers medical support this past week. Did you find that study? You were looking for the study of COVID-19 and MS medications. Proof, kind of like there is a study that says if you are on Ocrevus, or if you've been on rituximab, or any of the interferons there, the side effects of COVID, if you get it a lot less severe. Again, you know, and I love Diana, what she said. She didn't take my word for it. So that's my disclaimer there. Do not take my word for anything. Ask me for the sources. Refer to your doctor if you hear something that somebody says that manages MS, their symptoms or their disease. Write it down and call your neurologist. Quote the source, and I'll give you the source. Email me, because again, I'm nothing more than somebody who's had MS now for gosh, since they trace it back to 1984. Yes, I know. That's when I was born. I've learned how to do my makeup, so I look like a lot younger than I there. But 1984 is when and I've had experiences. I've been on a lot of medications and a lot of study programs there. It's been a wonderful thing there. So let me think about the study program. Beta Seron, I was in the lottery, so was Diana. You were in the lottery, Diana, if I get that. Yeah, I have that. What's so great about this channel now and the people here, when you introduce and I write that down, I actually remember. I remember things there. And yeah, I remember who you are. I see your name, and I pray. You know what? It doesn't matter what faith you are, or if you have no faith in all. I come from a role in my life where I believe God rules my life. I'm nothing without Christ in me. And I use that faith I have to pray for each of you there. I ask God to give me the words that'll comfort your soul and give you what you need to hear today there. So anyway, what was it? Beta Seron, Copaxone, El Prito, welcome. What is your name and where are you from? How old are you? Troy, yay! All right, this is what I have to say. I need your name, El Prito and Troy. I've got your Troy. All right. God bless you, Troy. What kind of MS do you have, Troy? And how old are you and where do you live? There. So I have to write that down so I can remember you and add you to my little prayer list. Yeah. Jesus, El Prito. All right, Troy, you are secondary for SPMS and you're 31. And where do you live? Georgia. Boy, it's hot there right now. Oh, no, El Prito is in, I'm sorry. What is your name, El Prito? Good morning. El Prito. Renee, good morning. Good morning, Renee. Your name is Jesus. Yeah, Jesus. All right, El Prito is Jesus. Jesus. Great name. All right, and you're in Georgia. And you're 34. Okay. And then Renee, welcome. Oh, all right. You're in Western Maryland. So you're near Deep Creek. It's got to be nice. There, Renee, you are in Maryland. What kind of MS do you have? Renee, and let me see. And Troy, where do you live? And Jesus, what kind of MS do you have? This is before I start getting into we're talking about how the weather it is warm, but it's rainy here in Maryland or in Bel Air, Maryland, where I am. And last Saturday was a little cooler, and I didn't feel good in this rain. How does weather make you feel? Does it sap the life out of you? I have energy today, and I had energy yesterday. So it's so important. We've discussed about how important it is to work out there. Oh, you're in Ontario. We have a number of Canadians here. Okay. All right, in Canada. Okay, forgive me. El Prito, so you haven't been diagnosed there. All right, not diagnosed. I'll put that down there. Well, you know what? How important, I discovered, how important is it to get that diagnosis? The reason why it's more important now than ever is because before 1993, when I was officially diagnosed, they didn't have medication, so it didn't matter how long it took to get diagnosed there. I was on beta seron, and Diana wasn't. Diana, yes, but it's dry heat. I remember, Rob, when I was in Arizona, Diana, excuse me, I'm going to jump around a bit because I'm responding. Diana is in Arizona, and I lived in Arizona for a while. And I'm an East Coaster, and dry heat. You know, people say, oh, it's dry heat. It's not humid heat like the West Coast or in Georgia. And I remember Diana used to say, yeah, well, put your head in the oven and turn it on and tell me, does that feel any different than, it's crazy. Jennifer, hi, Jennifer. All right, Renee, let me put that down. You're 51. You're the same age as me. I'm about to turn 52. And you know what? You've had it almost, yeah, you've had it as long as me. Well, you know, well, we're like sisters, all right, Renee. You have our since, that's impressive, because Renee is talking about where she lives, or no, not where she lives, how old she is, and how long she's had MS. And she has had relapsing remitting for 89, since 1989. And that's kind of interesting because even the MS Society studies had showed that if we have relapsing remitting MS, it mostly 80% will cross over to secondary progressive after 10 to 20 years. I happen to have chronic progressive there, but I'll tell you what, I'm not confined. I've been confined to a wheelchair twice, and I fought my way out of it there. I'm sorry, I'm reading. Troy is laughing. Jennifer is talking about being from Arizona too. And Diana talks a little bit about the heat, the dry heat of Arizona, how she can handle it better than the humid air when she lived in New York City. And Diana, I remember that when I was in Lake Havasu, the wonderful thing is, well, it wasn't so wonderful. If me with MS would jump in a pool, even though it was 100 degrees out, and you got out, it's the swamp cooler. The evaporation on your skin will chill the heck out of you. In humid places, you absolutely require a swimming pool if you have MS, or warm, humid places. But when you're in Arizona, dry areas, you require a mister. I remember when I lived in Southern California, I had misters. Misters are like sprinklers you put up, and they do they kind of put a stream of water, really fine water, and you never feel it. It feels like a cool breeze because it evaporates as it hits your skin. I'll tell you, that really felt good there. Okay, now I know I'm jumping around, but I'm trying to remember what I've been talking about there. Now, I was talking about, all right, the study, the Ocrevus, the how we're supposed to, the medications we take is supposed to allow us not to have a deeper effect, a worse effect of COVID-19. And again, that study was in MS News Today. And if you go to msfrontiers.org, you can see the resources we have for you. And if you join the medical support, MS Frontiers medical support page, I post every day. I post the research that's going on, medical research there. All right, so the other thing we're talking about is how you feel when it is yucky out, when it's raining there. Last Saturday, it was colder and damp, and I did not feel well. I felt kind of run down, achy. I didn't feel well. Today it is 75 degrees and it's raining and it's dark. And I got to tell you, I don't feel bad at all today. There, so how do you feel? Motorcycles. All right, Mohawk Mike. Mike is with us again from Arizona. Welcome, Mike. I'm so glad to see you. We're talking a little bit about the weather. Hey, you Arizona people there. Where in Arizona are you from there? And so you can see each other and maybe if y'all join MS Frontiers Personal Share, that's run by Debbie Harris there. If you join that, you can connect with each other and misery loves company. No, that's not true. Inspire each other. You're in Prescott. You know what? Jennifer is in Prescott. I love Prescott. Prescott is wooded. Hi there, Gina. And I travel to warmer climates. You know what? Cool. You know, only people on the northwestern U.S. or Canada. When I lived in Seattle and it rained all the time, I used to go to Hawaii, and that humid 80-degree, constant 80-degree weather in the shade, it was like satin on my skin. Now it wasn't as bad as I am now. Bad meaning I walk better. I could walk down to the beach and stuff. Now, you know, I have a rough time walking on the beach there. Diana, all right, where in Arizona? Golden Valley. Where is Golden Valley, Mike? Where is, Troy talked about he just talked about temperature outside, because we're talking about how weather affects MS, and he just said increase or decrease in temperature, both hot and cold, it really affects them. You know, Troy, it affects me too. You know, I think about living in Loma Linda, California, and it was pretty even as far as we didn't get much rain, so we didn't have a barometric drop in pressure there. Well, there's a lot of smog, but it really was good. The Northwest isn't, it was good there. You know what? You just don't know how you feel in a given climate until you've lived there a couple of years and your symptoms change there. You know what, Diana, we run similar lives there. She talks about spending the first 13 years of her life in Seattle. And there is a high. I used to go to the Swedish Medical Center and see Dr. Smith when I lived in Seattle. And I used to I'd have to go to Arizona a couple times a year. It's funny with a funny thing. Uh, you know what? I agree. All right, real quick, and let me finish my point there. First year I lived in Tacoma, Washington. There I worked for Liberty Mutual, so I'd go up to Bellevue, Washington. Traffic was terrible. Richard, I uh, my love, Richard. Richard has taken such good care of me emotionally, physically, with my walker there. I just, Richard is like a family member. So that's Richard is talking to each other, and I consider that's, support. Everybody, remember that any 12-step program, you have a sponsor. If you go to church, the church will, somebody you can lean on there. And I talk a little bit about how we need each other, and it's good to be here because you know that you do have a support system here, not just me, but Mike and Diana and Troy and Jean and Diana and Richard. Yes. So all right. So we need each other, and I've helped Richard, and I'm telling you what, I always think I get more than I give. So, but maybe not. So let's talk a little bit about the D in Seattle. First year, I had a problem. First year I had to go to Hawaii and Arizona 3 times during the winter, because in Seattle there's the rainy season, and then there's the last week of August and the first 2 of September. Second year I went to Gene Juarez, got all my hair cut off, and bought a backpack and walked around there, and I still had to go to Hawaii. Third year started the antidepressant. It was getting to me, all that rain there. I need sunshine. So then when we moved from Seattle to Southern California, there I just didn't believe the sun was going to be out. So I stayed out in the sun until I got basal cell cancer carved off me there. Prescott Valley is beautiful. I just know last time I was there was about 10 years ago. Prescott in Arizona, there, it's gorgeous, but I'm sure they have built up, because there wasn't anything there. Now, you know what? Prescott, I'm confusing Prescott with Flagstaff there. Prescott's beautiful. It is built up there. I've got, we stayed there for a while, and I love that. There is a Calvary Chapel, big church. It's wonderful. I remember going to. In fact, you guys would laugh at this for MS there. We were visiting there, and we're walking up to this Calvary Chapel, and millions of people were there. And there's this man. He ran up. He was a greeter. He ran up and he said, "Oh my gosh!" And my husband was helping me walk, and I was limping. And he said, "What happened to your leg?" And my husband looked at me and said, "Don't you answer, and otherwise I'll mess up that other leg." So, it was a bad joke there, of course, but I'm always looking to laugh. So I laughed so hard. I laughed till I cried there. The guy didn't know how to take that there, but if you've ever been a victim of abuse, please forgive me for saying that. I was a victim of abuse, at one point in my life. But again, I'm not a victim. It's how you look at it, and forgive me for appearing not sensitive to the issue. But I thought it was hilarious when he said that. Don't, he said that. So always laughing. You know what, Troy? Yeah, don't cry. Don't. But crying is good. You know, the Bible tells us that tears are an opportunity for us to recognize that we have pain inside of us that needs hope. You know, I read today. What is it? And it was a Bible passage, and uh, um, it talked about pain or trials leading to despair, or character leads to building character, and building character leads to hope. And you know, if you've had MS a long time, you can read that and say, how does having an MS attack lead to hope? Well, I hope I get better. I mean, you have to laugh at that. You just have to laugh. Because if you don't laugh, remember, some of you are old enough to remember MASH and Hawkeye Pierce. If you're not old enough, please look for it on YouTube. Look at a couple episodes. Hawkeye Pierce was a military doctor in the Korean War, and he had no control over anything anything except for operating on people. And he just had this dry humor. He laughed. Everything was funny. And so many of us have to be ready to laugh. I mean, it's amazing. I've got incredible capacity for pain. Now, Gina just asked a good question. Who's on antidepressants, and if so, what kind? Gina, I'm on Zoloft. I take 150 milligrams a day. And I have a video that talks a little bit about depression and MS that you are, search on the channel there. And it talks about the difference between depression and clinical depression. Their depression is feeling a little blue or not quite right, but clinical depression is when you have to divorce yourself from yourself, almost remove your soul out of your body and look down at yourself and ask yourself logically, I was fun, I loved everybody last week, right now, and then ask yourself, I don't love anybody, I don't want to get out of bed, I don't even like the dog, I don't like anything. So you have to honestly you got to be honest with yourself and decide if you do have that clinical depression. With me, my depression was so bad, it was suicidal. I was suicidal. But I'm also extremely logical. So I called my neurologist, which I ask everybody do, and I said, look, I am suicidal. There, it is this date, on this date. I will tell you, I will give you 6 weeks on this date to get me where I don't feel like killing myself, because I don't care. So I let my general practitioner and my neurologist know, and they had to keep increasing, changing, and all. But guess what? After a week and a half, I was fine. I was great. I loved everybody again. I cared. But I discovered a new respect for people who killed themselves. I didn't know. There are a few people that, not with MS there, I'm just saying, that have this depression. So Jennifer, no, Jennifer's leaving us there. So, but yeah, I'm not, I wasn't ashamed, but there's a couple of people who have depression so much that the act of suicide has nothing to do with making other people pay or a reason. The act of suicide for me at that time would have been because I couldn't live with the pain of feeling another minute like I did before. But I let the neurologist know, I said, I can't live like this, but I will. I will for the next 6 weeks until you get it together there. And they got it together for me. So, all right. Wellbutrin, we have somebody here. Remember, for pain, I know that a lot of neurologists will suggest Cymbalta. Has anybody been on Cymbalta? Excuse me, I gotta wet my whistle. Cymbalta. There's so many. And antidepressants aren't what they used to be. Do you remember Pamelar? And Pamelar was something they used to give people, and they gave a lot of, there's just so many different classes, and I haven't really studied antidepressants extensively, like a little bit, because I was interested in the chemical reaction with the brain and what each one did. But I'm not in a situation to talk about them. I won't talk about them. Call your doctor if you feel this, or email. I know I couldn't get a hold of my doctor through the telephone, but there was a patient portal. So call and get some advice there. Richard's just sharing with us, he gets depressed with MS. Sometimes he feels useless because he can't walk and do the things he used to. All right, and Diana was talking about, we were talking about Cymbalta there, and she was on it for 7 years, and she just got off of it. Why, Diana, why did you get off Cymbalta if it was working for pain? And Richard, to go back to your that is situation. What Richard talks about, depressed because of not being able to do the things, achieve the things you once did. That's called situational depression. There's a reason for that depression there, and antidepressants work with situational depression. Yeah, you know what, Diana, for that situational depression. So Richard, you may want to call your neurologist or email your neurologist and talk about how useless you feel, and try the antidepressants, because they really do lift your spirit. There's a lot of people who are anti-medication. In fact, there's somebody without MS there, and she was that I'm friends with, and she almost scolded me with all right, you're one of those, you're a drug taker, where she doesn't believe in antidepressants. But let me tell you, antidepressants isn't a faith. It's not a religion. It's just there. It's a tool. You can use that there. All right. You felt it was situational. You know, Diana talks a little bit that she can relate to Richard as far as feeling bad because she's not able to do the things that she once was able to do there. And how do we deal with that? You know, it's the word productivity, and we have to refine what is productive for each individual MS. Oh, here's an example. Some days you wake up and you're extra tired. Well, productivity that day may be a shower, maybe getting changed, or you know what I'd say is, if you're really tired, this is what I do. If I'm really tired and I'm really dragged in there, I don't want to take a shower. I don't want to waste it on a shower there. Wash the sweet spots, and you know, maybe my event of the day is dusting. It picked up something. You guys know that I'm the queen of lists there. I write down everything on a list there. I'll make a list. All the things I want to accomplish. Like today, I have to go to the pharmacy and pick up ropinirol for my restless leg syndrome there. Hi, Buzz! But anyway, I've got to do that. So what happens, I put that down. I want to go to the grocery store. I want to vacuum, and that's a big deal. So what I do is I line up the list, and depending on my energy there, I'm reading a book right now. I love reading there because it's my downtime there. You don't want to be numbed out, Diana. That is the old school antidepressant. She talks a little bit about the numbed out feeling you get from antidepressants. Paxil used to numb people out, just level there. I'm telling you what. The Zoloft has been working for me over the course of the past 20 years. I've been on and off Zoloft there. Yeah, you know what? I can't vacuum with a cord, but what I can do is if I sit on my walker and I get the vacuum, then I can push a little bit at a time there. Or I can beg my husband later on today to vacuum for me. Dusting's fun, and we have a riding tractor, so I'll get on the riding tractor and I'll mow the whole front yard there, and that's fun because you can see the line of demarcation. That feels productive. So let's redefine productive for ourselves. Again, MS is a snowflake disease. So what are you going to do? A lot of times you keep your list and you have your energy. And what you want to do is if you have low energy, do low energy things. Read a book. If you have a little bit more energy, some days I wake up and I have lots of energy and I should jump in the shower. Then you're going to find a common goal with me. I'm skanky. No, that's not true. I do bathe, but if I have lots and lots of energy there, sometimes I think, well, I'll just fix my hair or put it in a ponytail, and I'm not going to shower. I'm going to get dressed, and now I've got high energy. I want to weed the garden. I want to do something that's fun there. All right, Richard just asked, how many of you have severe walking problems and can't walk without a walker? That'd be me. It's severe, and you'd have to define severe. My walking is affected because of disability. I'm always dizzy because of an attack I had in the base of my skull there. So I'm dizzy. I need the walker so I don't fall over, because I will fall over there. Occasionally I need the walker because I'm spastic there, and you ever notice if you're sitting down on the couch too long and you go to stand up, sometimes I call it the Barbie girl syndrome. Yeah, you just break out. You just get so rigid there, and hold on to a walker really helps with that there. So I used to walk with a cane, and I'd leave the cane everywhere. Only when I got consistently dizzy did I require the walker at all times. But yeah, it's balance and spasticity there. Also, what I will tell you, if you work out, lift weights, work on your hips and your thighs, these muscles. And the reason why is because we are basically stunt men and women at this. If you have MS, you have to strengthen yourself so you can fall and not get hurt. Not lock your arms out when you fall, kind of bend them and roll. Uh, um, we need falling lessons there. The times, every time I get hurt, it's because I fall when I'm spastic there. And remember, some of you will remember I broke that left leg, right? And that's my bad leg. And how did I break it? Or I was doing something stupid. But when I fell, I ended up falling with my leg locked out there, and pretend it's my left leg there, and I shoved the shin into the femur, and I broke my knee. I broke, well, actually, what did I do? I broke my shin vertically there, and it started at the knee there. And when I went to urgent care, they casted it as if normal people would fall with that knee bent, and that would be a torn ACL. But with me, they'd never seen anything like that. They didn't know. They put me in a straight cast, and it just about killed me. And I have a friend who is a sports medicine doctor. He got me with an orthopedic surgeon that he's friends with, and they did an MRI, and they showed the fracture was vertical. It wasn't across my calf, it went down. And that was because of spasticity. When we fall, when we're spastic, things break, but in the wrong way there. So what happened, they can't cast anything that's vertical. They can operate. In fact, that was an option, but he had me just come every 2 weeks and x-ray that, and I was in a brace that slightly bent my knee, slightly bent my knee, and it helped. All right, spasticity is really frustrating. MJL said, "I like steel." You know what? Heavy spastic legs. Legs can feel heavy and they can feel spastic. Buzz talked about being on an anticonvulsant drug and getting the lightheadedness under stress. You know what? So Buzz, this is, yeah. Some of the medications they give us, even taking baclofen. People talk about the side effects of being sleepy. You have side effects. It's why I don't take Neurontin or gabapentin. It's because the side effects, the cure is worse than the pain. There, I can do that. Lightheadedness is awful. Now, how do you treat spasticity? And we talked about that. And I'm going to read what you just said, Diana. How do you treat it? You stretch. It's a lot of stretching there. Diana talked about movement is medicine. She fell and broke her right ankle 2 years ago, and started to decline. You know what? Is there a way you can get into physical therapy? You know what? Having MS and battling MS is we have to treat our bodies like it has repeated strokes. We've got to fight back with that. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get 100% back. Diana, I love you. Yeah, it's a great message, all of this, but you guys are the stars. I'm just hosting this, and I hope I'm doing a good job. Yeah, you know what? I started using a walker. Richard started using a walker 13 years ago. I started using it about, I'd say 25. I bought one, and the idea was that I didn't have dizziness or all, but I liked walking. And at that time, I could go for about 5 miles. I needed a place to hold my water and lunch there. So, okay, Rack 77. It just asked a wonderful question. Does baclofen help with spasticity? I will give you an example. I was going to physical therapy, and I wouldn't take baclofen because it made me sleepy. And the physical therapist was trying to work with my body, and he said, I refuse to treat you unless you take baclofen, because my body was so rigid it wouldn't bend. I have that problem in bed right now. In the morning when I get up and there's no baclofen in my system, I become like a wooden board, and I've got to roll on my stomach to get out of bed. What we are supposed to do is slow down and stretch, and all right. See, and this is what helps, is that you guys give advice that I was a teacher, so I'm really good at telling people what to do and not doing it. So you guys are making me honest here. Baclofen does help. There's the highest amount anybody should be taking is 80 milligrams before going on the baclofen pump. And I have to tell you, you need to call your neurologist and you need to follow their advice, not be like me. I've done more wrong than I've done right. And the neurologist is right. You take it, but that drowsiness, Ritterak is talking a little bit about the drowsiness, and baclofen, that's something you get used to, you adapt to. I didn't want to take one pill, and it was a 20 milligram pill they gave me. Well, guess what? I ended up not only taking 20 milligrams, but I took 20 milligrams 40 milligrams 4 times a day. Well, how much is that, right? That is 1,600. There's my neurologist. Don't do any of that. I wasn't even sleepy, but that's how I was too rigid, and I kept increasing it because I have more guts than sense. Do not follow my lead there. So they asked me to back it down 20, 40, 60. I take 60 milligrams a day. No sleepiness. But I should consider a baclofen pump, because I wouldn't have that problem in bed there. Oh, Brito, Jesus, you're leaving us. Please subscribe. Or for those of you, because this ends in 12 minutes, but for those of you who haven't been here before, please subscribe to my channel and be back on Tuesday. Again, every Tuesday and Thursday for 1 hour. There we support each other. I'm your host. Love you, Jesus. Go to msfrontiers.org and see the resources we have for you. And again, subscribe. I hope. All right, what did we learn out of this today? We learned if we're depressed, we might have to talk to our doctor and revisit the idea that we may be candidates for antidepressants. We talked about whether it's normal to have physical swings there. You know what? MJ, all right, MJL 3093 just said something really, really interesting. And I'll have to look into that. This person, I forget, I have it written down there. I can't remember if you're a boy or a girl there. But they talked about, or she talks about taking Neurontin, and adapting. She no longer gets drowsy, doesn't have the side effects, and she stretches and massages her leg all day long. But what's fantastic, Myra, all right, Myra, what kind of MS do you have? I gotta ask. Myra, what kind of MS do you have? And where do you live? How old are you? So we're talking about Neurontin. Neurontin is something for pain that you can adapt to there. It's also known as gabapentin. I will not take it for long periods of time because I haven't adapted quick enough for it. So I gotta drink some more. What else? We talked about this study, 49 in Ohio. Myra, well, I'm so glad you're here with us in Ohio. What kind of MS do you have, Myra? RRMS. RRMS. I will add you guys to my prayer list and also my list of attendees there. So we're talking right now about gabapentin there, or Neurontin. Also baclofen, we talked a little bit of baclofen. A lot of people don't want to take it because it makes them sleepy there. Oh, you called me love. I like that. But anyway, it makes them sleepy. But I'm here to tell you, I have taken more Empira than would make any doctor happy. And you adapt. It is adaptable. You know what you can do is call your neurologist and ask your neurologist what's the highest amount that they would allow you to take. Take that, and ask, work at a system there. Maybe, I don't know, and then back off of it. But that's another option. Again, I'm speaking out of turn. I'm not a doctor. I don't, and so do not take anything I say seriously unless you check it out yourself. There. How much baclofen did you take? And it caused hallucinations. How much, Myra? How much baclofen did you take? Oh, by the way, if you tuned in last week, and I love having fun. On Amazon, they have like scrunchies, a messy bun scrunchie, and it's like fake hair, but it matches perfectly. So I was wearing it on this past Tuesday. So I wore it yesterday when I was finishing laying bricks in my backyard because I had energy. My husband looks at me, I said, "Hey, hon, do you like my messy bun?" I had a messy bun. And he says, "Yeah, it's nice." And then I pulled it out and I was holding it like falsies, and his jaw dropped. He says, I always blow his mind. He says, "This is your hair." But anyway, so for those people who, for you girls, you want to be a glam queen there, get on Amazon and match your hair, and then you can put it up in a ponytail and do the crazy bun. And this was like, I'm done. It's funny. You have to laugh. You do. But smoke and mirrors. If you've been subscribed to my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that the fancier I'm dressed, the fancier my hat is, the more makeup I'm wearing, the brighter my lipstick, the more the skankier I am, the less bathed, the less energy I have had there. Okay, now you know what, Empira, we talked about Empira on Tuesday. A little bit about Empira. Does it work? Does the generic work? What works? What doesn't work? I didn't find. I I will qualify this with the fact that I'm a sucker for placebo. So if you tell me something's going to do something, well, by golly, it is. Also, you know, if you tell me that I have a high chance of catching something, I don't know, my brain's a little backwards there. So I believe that Empire was helping me until my insurance wouldn't cover it anymore. Now, copay assistance in Empira, it was only $10. They would only cover the generic, but my copay on the generic was $80, and I'm sorry, I'm cheap. I'm cheap. Well, I just, on principle, I stopped taking it, and let me tell you something, it didn't change the way I walked. So, all right, now Richard talked a little bit about taking baclofen. He only takes 20 milligrams of baclofen at bedtime. Well, that's interesting, and you guys are talking about hiccups there. All right, hiccups, I think of spasticity. I don't know anything about spasticity and hiccups there, but it's logical. You think about baclofen's supposed to be a bit of a muscle relaxer. So I would imagine it would work there. You know what, Myra is thankful we have so many choices for symptoms there. And I'm going to keep talking about what you guys are talking about there. So she is really glad that we have lots of medications for that to treat the symptoms there. Urgent, okay, and Richard said the baclofen will help with hiccups because of it being a muscle relaxer. It didn't occur to me. Gina, I missed you. I missed you chiming in before last week. You were just high on energy, and we were going back and forth. So Gina, she's telling us, she's educating us. She tells us that baclofen only has a life, or it's only effective in our bodies for 6 hours. That's what her neurologist says. I think it again, 6 to 7 hours, 5 milligrams. She takes 5 milligrams every 6 to 7 hours. There, I think it would. I think that should be a question we need to ask our neurologist just to confirm. Gina, it's outstanding, but that you said that. And it also explains why I take the baclofen at night, and then in the morning I'm rigid again. It explains a lot there. I take 20 at night, 20 in the morning, and then I take 20 late, early afternoon there. And I'm going to talk to my doctor about taking 20 at night, 20 in the morning, 20 late morning, and 20 early afternoon. No, late afternoon. I don't know. But again, remember your neurologist, keep them in the loop and discuss. Yeah, I've been getting really used to the ropinirole. Really used to it. Sometimes I don't need it, and other times that leg is jumping around. Right leg, it's my stronger leg that I have problems with restless leg syndrome. So every time I want to talk medication, my Johns Hopkins neurologist wants me to make an appointment, and there's another copay. But I'm just every 6 months. I mean, everything is cost. Cost effect. I need a lot more problems than to just talk about ropinirole. All right, you know what? And Gina talks about baclofen. We do not know how much of it will work until we've taken it. Then we know it's working. That is, and Diana just responded to Gina and I believe Myra's responding there is that they both agree. They both agree. So I think this is more for you, MJ. It's interesting. Anyway, we've got 10 seconds left to go on this. This has been extremely fun, and I love the interaction there. Again, I'm going to be back on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. This is my commitment to you. I hope you've learned something here. I know I have. It's enlightening there. Just because we have multiple sclerosis doesn't mean our life is over. And in being here in this forum and talking about all of this, of how to live with it, how to be productive, how to feel good about ourselves, we need that. And you guys are inspiring each other, and you care about each other, and you care about me. And I'm telling you what, thank you, Jesus, for the support we have with each other there. It makes this whole experience, it makes it worth it. It just know that as much as you're struggling sometimes to make it to the bathroom or just all of those things, you're not alone in this. Next week on Tuesday, let's talk about incontinence. It's a real life issue. By the way, I just bought a internet extender, and I'm going to see if it will work on my back porch. Anyway, I love you. Please go to msfrontiers.org, subscribe there. Again, if you look at msfrontiers.org, you'll see resources, including the MS Association, the MS Foundation. It's a wonderful manual there. MS Society, there are some groups out there, especially the foundation, the MS Foundation. They really will help people with MS. And the association is also really good with people with MS. MS Society is for information for people that they're not as good at helping people with MS. But anyway, if you go to msfrontiers.org, you'll see the resources and that we have, and who to call, how to navigate. Anyway, I love you all. Please subscribe and keep coming back. Thank you.